For those of you who I haven't met, my name is Brianne Bales. I am the manager for the Homeless Contribution Income Tax Credit, or HCTC, as I'll refer to the tax credit throughout the meeting today. And so it's good to see you today. I also want to introduce our new program assistant, Lonnie Silva. Lonnie started 3 weeks ago and is already just getting onboarded, getting acquainted with things, and has already started our annual review process, which is the main topic for our meeting today. But Lonnie, I'll let you just introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Van. Hey, all. My name is Lonnie. I use she, her pronouns. I am the program assistant with the Office of Homeless Initiatives, the tax credit outreach program, but I also help with our balance of state continuum of care as well. So you might see me throughout a few different programs, but excited to be here. Thanks.
Thanks, Lonnie. And thank you for everyone putting your name in the chat as well. Just a few notes on the agenda today. We will be mostly focusing on the annual project review process that's happening now. Also, just reviewing our participation requirements for organizations within HCTC, and also going to be sharing out a short donor communication survey to try to get your feedback about materials that will be helpful to you. So first of all, just giving some background on project reviews and why are we gathering information or verifying information in this process. So organizations and projects must be reviewed on an annual basis according to statute. And so we have a deadline for posting our 2025 approved projects on our website. And so this process just makes sure that all of our information is accurate and that potential donors are able to see your accurate descriptions and services and activities on our list of participating organizations. And so this is just an opportunity for you to review the information, add information as necessary. We also have a few questions, as you'll see in a moment, that have been added over the past year. And so we saw improvements in our HCTC application process. And so there were a few questions that have been added since the majority of you were onboarded last year. And so there are those questions as well that we're asking organizations to complete. So Lonnie has emailed out a Google Doc to each organization and the contacts that we have on file for your organization. And so basically your role is to just check that Google Doc information for accuracy. We have highlighted questions for you that we do want you to for sure answer and make sure that those are completed as accurately as possible. But we also ask for you to review those unhighlighted questions as well, just to make sure that your information that you submitted last year is still correct this year. There may be a couple on the call, I'm not sure, that were recently approved that we did not send annual review documents to, because those questions, projects, and information were just really recently reviewed, and we have verified that that information should be accurate for next year. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen of an example of an organization that is a fake test organization. So, and their template for completing. As you can see, It's pretty straightforward as far as all the questions are numbered, and these unhighlighted fields are just some basic information like the tax ID, the address, point of contact name. This is a great one to check and make sure that your point of contact has not been updated since last year. Who's the person that you want to be on file as the main HCTC contact for your organization? Um, these are just questions that you'll also want to make sure are accurate. So you'll just want to read through each of these, and these are for your organization-wide general information. As you scroll down in the document, you'll see that this is a new question that was added. Just asking, what is your continuum of care region and your location? These attestations are also new, and we're going to be going over this information on a subsequent slide. But this is just asking for you to enter yes in your agreement for this attestation. Once you do this, then we on the back end are able to mark that you agree to this participation requirement, and we can edit that within Salesforce. Next is the project information. So this is going to be different for each organization. One organization may have one project. One organization may have 4 projects. It really is based on how your organization is set up for your HCTC project. So this is an example. I think we have 2 projects in this example. So you're going to check the project's name. The project subcategories is also very important. So as many of you learned last year, this is how we base our reporting questions and our reporting process. So this project type descriptions link is very important if you want to double check. We do these activities within our project. We're not really sure if these are the accurate subcategories or what. So you can click on this link, and in doing so, you'll pull up our project type descriptions for HCTC. And it goes into depth on each of the project subcategories for your operational services to determine, is this a shelter category? Is this supportive housing? Which category is accurate? We try to make sure that within the project review process last year, and as new organizations have come on board, that we consult these descriptions to make sure they line up. But this project review is prime time for you to make sure that you agree with those designations for your project. HMIS. So HMIS refers to the Homeless Management Information System. Some of you may use HMIS and some of you may not. This is the opportunity for you to indicate that here. The expected contributions, this may or may not be highlighted in your project review, but it's a great one to check on. Because as I was reviewing this, it seems that some organizations put the expected contributions just overall to your, maybe to your organization as a whole or to your program. And this question really is meant more of a contribution estimate for HCTC specific contributions. So if you take a look and you look at the contribution amount and it seems to be maybe a little higher than what you expect for your HCTC contributions for next tax year, please go ahead and make that change in your annual review document. This is a great place to just check and review questions 11 through 13 and make sure that the information for your project is accurate. And question 14 is new. So this one is going to be highlighted on our list that we post on the HCTC website. And so it's going to really highlight for potential donors just a brief snapshot of your project and what it accomplishes. So yeah, we want to keep it within 300 words or less so that it gives a brief description on the list without going into enough detail so that someone understands the project, but not too detailed where it's too lengthy and someone's not even going to read it. Organization names of your projects and programs and services. So some of you, maybe you have a project that includes multiple programs. We're just asking for those program names that are within your organization for question number 15. Project number 2 is a capital campaign for this example. And so these project subcategories, kind of the same thing. You can look at our project type descriptions and scroll down to the capital campaigns section of the project descriptions.
Hey, Brian, we have a question in the chat about the capital campaigns, actually.
Okay, yeah, I
Um,
can get to that within this section. So
okay.
thanks for that, Lonnie. Pretty much the same thing. Questions 29 through 31, you'll just want to make sure that those descriptions are accurate. And then 32 is a new question and 33 is a new question. Each capital campaign should also have the campaign start date and end date included within the questions for your project. So this is where you can make an indication that the end date has already passed. Maybe it ended earlier than expected. And so you can just make a suggestion. So you're sharing abilities should make you a commenter on the document. So if you have a adjustment, you can just make a comment and say project ended on 7/1/2024, and then click comment, and that alerts Lonnie to go ahead and make that change within Salesforce. And that's the case for any of these questions at all. So if you are including your project description, you'll just add a comment, and your status as a commenter, basically when you type it in, it's going to type it in as a suggestion according to Google Docs. And a lot of the organizations who have already been submitting these have been able to do it without any issues. So yeah, so it should be pretty straightforward. We've had really good success so far in those organizations being able to navigate the document. But yeah, if you ever have changes, you just make a comment and we'll make that change. So like for example, in this project counties, maybe you expanded your services. And so now you serve beyond just Denver, you serve Denver and El Paso County. So you can just make that comment and we can make that change on the back end in Salesforce and make sure that our records are up to date as well as the list on our website. Any other questions related to the project review document or just project reviews in general? Awesome. I do want to highlight that if you're going through this process and you realize, oh, we have a new project that's not included with HCTC yet, and we want to go ahead and add a new project, you can definitely do so. And so if you want that to be eligible for 2024, you'll need to submit that by October 1st. And the date of approval is going to be the start date for that project. So if you submit it, you know, on September 29th and we review it within a couple weeks, that approval date is going to be your start date for the project. And so as long as you get that in within October 1st, we should have it reviewed and either approved or denied for 2024 within 14 business days. For contributions for that project, just note that that approval date is going to be the start date for contribution. So if you have a contribution that came in and the beginning of the year and your new project is approved this fall, that contribution is not going to be eligible for that project. It's only for contributions from the approval date and after. If you have a project that you want to add for tax year 2025, that would need to be submitted by November 1st for priority review. So I say that because we do accept applications on a rolling basis, but I hesitate to guarantee that that project would be reviewed and finalized by January 1st. So a lot of times there are follow-up questions involved with a new application or eligibility submission. And so we very well, if you submit something in December, we very well may potentially have that reviewed by January 1st, but there's no guarantee of that. So we're asking for submissions by November 1st to make sure that that finalized project approval or denial is finalized by January 31st or January 1st, excuse me. We do have an eligibility verification checklist on the HCTC website. And so just wanted to highlight that we do have several resources on the website. And so some of you may be familiar with the information for participating organizations section, but we also have a section for those interested in participating in HCTC. And so there are some eligibility verification resources here that could potentially be helpful for you, like this eligibility verification checklist. Any questions on new projects? Okay. So this has been a policy with HCTC. We did make some exceptions last year with it being our first year as a program and having active participation in 2023. However, we do want to make sure that organizations are taking advantage of HCTC for this tax year. And so in order to remain active within HCTC, we ask for you to maintain eligibility in two ways: by either logging $5,000 in contributions for the year or contributions from at least 5 donors for the year. So it could be one donor who gives you $5,000 or more, or it could be five donors at $100 each. As long as you are giving HCTC as an equal opportunity to your donors, and you meet this minimum requirement, you'll be able to continue participating in HCTC for 2025. If it's looking like you're concerned that you may not meet the requirements for these as they're described on the slide, please just reach out to us as soon as possible on your project review sheet. Please make a note on that. You can make a comment just at the top of the document. We're going to be reviewing those as they come in. And so that's going to be the best place for flagging that. And we may very well reach out to you if that's something that you want to meet about, or if there's concerns, if there's ways that we can support you in that participation, or if it's turning out that HCTC is not a great fit. I just want to make sure that we touch base on that. So we want HCTC to be a great fundraising tool for your organizations, and many organizations have been able to implement HCTC successfully. So we just want to make sure that your organization is, yeah, is able to implement it successfully if possible. So that's pretty much, we're wrapping up our project review information, and moving on to donor communications. So this is something that we saw within our survey that we sent this spring, that honestly we didn't focus a lot on because we were building the program. We were building out communications for you all as our participating nonprofits, and now we see this as a potential resource for you, is how do we improve our donor communication materials. And so this is an opportunity for you to complete a very short survey. Lonnie, thank you for putting that link in the chat. So we would ask for you to complete that with any suggestions that you may have. This really helps us. And I'll give you an example that came in this week. So we had an organization that was looking at a PDF that we put together in January of 2023. So the program was brand new. It we just were trying to get the information out there regarding HCTC, and having information for donors who may be interested in the tax credit. And so since that time, some of that information has changed, and that document was date stamped, but ultimately that document has been phased out and is no longer on our website. And we at the division also have additional accessibility requirements that we need to adhere to. So for multiple reasons, that document was phased out, and we're just trying to determine the best materials moving forward to create. Is it something that you print? Do you have printouts that you do for your donors? Do you send them letters? Would something printable be helpful for you? Is something more electronic based helpful for you? So that's something within the survey that you, if you can indicate, or if you have anything you'd like to raise your hand and share about, we're happy to have that as well. So um, yeah, we do have a memo um, that we created regarding the Senate bill that was passed this year. And that does include information regarding gifts through intermediary organizations. So that's an example of some communication that we've created regarding that change. But if there's information that you feel like could be shared in a better format, we're happy to hear about that, because I do see we have a question about the Colorado Gives Day and if that qualifies for HCTC. So yeah, happy to and it looks like that survey needs to be sent via another method. Yes, we're happy to email those questions out to you to get that feedback. Thank you for flagging that. So I'll also share, since we did have a question about the Colorado Gives Day, I'll share where that is on our website, our HCTC website. So if you look here at the Senate bill memo, this is a memo regarding the changes. So contributions through intermediary organizations, and changes regarding the Social Security number. So Colorado Gives is probably the most common intermediary organization. And we do have a training that's linked on our website as well, that if you are not able to if you were not able to participate in that or watch that previously, please do so. It shows the changes within our Salesforce platform for tracking those gifts through intermediary organizations. And so these are both helpful resources for you for regarding Colorado Gives Day. But if there's, yeah, if there's any communications that we can help regarding that change, happy to do so. And it looks like a couple folks are not able to um, complete a survey via Google, so that's good to know. Didn't realize that that would have been an organizational policy, so thanks for sharing that. Um, any other questions on donor communications or suggestions? A lot of the materials that we've created have been because of your suggestions in office hours. So feel free to raise your hand or unmute if you have anything on your mind that you want to share. I'll go ahead and move on. Just highlighting some of the dates coming up. September 23rd is the date for your project reviews to be completed. We do have a new staff orientation that we've just scheduled for September 18th. I'm highlighting this for organizations where you might have someone newer on board who wants just a general overview of HCTC. This is a great opportunity for you to join. We'll also include, I'll send a follow-up email and I'll include the date and joining information for this orientation via email as well. October 1st, again, is the deadline for new projects for 2024. October 31st is the deadline for Q3 contributions to be submitted, or if you have prior contributions that were not submitted. So as we were waiting for the Senate bill to come in regarding those contributions through intermediary organizations like Colorado Gives, those have not been submitted yet. So if you have some Colorado Gives contributions from earlier this year, go ahead and get those submitted by the deadline of October 31st. And again, November 1st is our deadline for new projects for 2025. If you do have any questions, please remember to email our general inbox. That is the best way for Lonnie and I to coordinate on getting your question answered in the best way. Some folks still reach out to Sydney. Sydney is working within the Division of Housing at a different program in the Office of Homeless Initiative. So um, she still has an active email address, but she's going to be directing you to Lonnie or myself if you do try to reach out to Sydney McCleary. So just a reminder on that as well. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And if anyone has additional questions you want to put in the chat, feel free to do so.